To good governance.
Make it a date with Oᴏ and Saeed Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
More and more. And as time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see.
From the east to the west to the north to the south, the drum of politics is getting louder every day, and sometimes we fear that governance could start to take a backseat as governors in their numbers, senators, reps, assembly, everyone is fighting for their political survival, and even the members of the opposition are not left out, from the PDP to the Labour Party to the SDP to the AAC to the new bride, the NDC. It looks like the journey to unseat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is more of individual efforts rather than a collective mission. However, a lot of people had also questioned if the opposition could in any way muster any form of credibility in terms of how they push Nigerians to having credible alternatives. So the question is this: how many people actually know the ideologies of these opposition parties? If Party A says I would remove subsidy, and Party B says I'm going to float the naira, and Party C says, well, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. The question everyone is saying is, how do you want to do it? The how of it is what should lead our questions or our quest for quality governance going forward, especially as we continue to build up to the 2027 election. January seems far, but for a typical Nigerian politician, it's almost like tomorrow should come. So for the All Progressive Congress, today seems to be a major day, as the 48 hours for the deadline for appeal committees for the screening ends today. So it's expected that the list of the screened, either cleared or a disqualified aspirant to be made available today or the first thing early tomorrow. We should get to know what is happening to the governor of Rivers State. There are rumors that could be on his way to the NDC. You and I know what the Electoral Act 2026 as amended says about that. The deadline closed on the 10th of May, which was last week Sunday. What is happening in Ogun East as well? Some stakeholders are endorsing the outgoing governor for the ticket currently being held by the former governor of the state, talking about Dapo Abiodun and Senator Gbenga Daniels respectively. The stakeholders in Ogun East have endorsed Governor Dapo Abiodun for the Ogun East Senatorial District. He's also picked up his nomination form. However, the current senator and the former governor Gbenga Daniels is saying that let us go to the primaries. No consensus, no stakeholders endorsement. I will beat Dapo Abiodun at the primaries. We're also looking at the current deputy governor of Ogun State is also nursing senatorial ambitions. She's been walking around meeting people, just to continue to sell her ideology to the good people of our senatorial district. There's a lot to talk about on the show today. Well, you look at issues as well around the is Goodluck Jonathan eligible to run for political office according to Electoral Act? This Friday, the Supreme Court would make the High Court to make a judgment in that regard. A lot of people are questioning, could he be sworn in 3 times? The same thing is playing out in Ondo State in the case of His Excellency Lucky Aiyedatiwa. I remember he was sworn in to complete the tenure of his late principal, that is Rotimi Akeredolu SAN, popularly known as Aketi. And of course, Lucky Aiyedatiwa eventually got on the ballot, contested an election, and won his election. So he's been sworn in twice. Well, he's also challenging the legitimacy of his option of running for his own official second term, but that will mean he will have been sworn in 3 times. Lagos, the consensus conversation is not ending well, because we have candidates in Lagos that have picked up a nomination form to run for the seat of the governor of the state. Even in Oyo State at the moment, Oyo State is having about 11 governorship aspirants on the platform of the APC. It looks like the consensus game is also not going to work in Oyo State, as the immediate past minister of power had a grand rally yesterday at the Lekan Salami Stadium, where a lot of artists, celebrities came in. The crowd yesterday was intimidating. There's no point denying that fact. But does that make any difference? Those are the questions we're going to be looking at on the show today, on the side of a major conversation. The APC screening committee are mandated by the constitution of the party to screen aspirants. Obviously screened the likes of Yaya Bello and Ifeanyi Okowa. And the question I would have been asking anyone within that space is this: on what ground would Ifeanyi Okowa be screened and cleared to run for the political office he's aspiring for, Delta North Central District? Well, there's still Senator Nedu Oko that wants to run for another time on the same senatorial district as well. Remember when former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa, before he joined the APC, he was the 2023 vice presidential candidate of the PDP to Atiku Abubakar. He was picked up by the FCC immediately after his tenure, and there were allegations that he mismanaged or embezzled over 1 trillion. Now he's crossed to the All Progressive Congress and is aspiring to go to the Senate. And I'm asking, will he be screened and cleared by the screening committee? Is it that they're not aware that it's currently being under investigation? And also Yaya Bello, the immediate past governor of Kogi State, the leader of the APC in Kogi State. The governor is not even the leader. Governor Usman Ododo is not the leader of the APC in Kogi State, because he has said it. He told House of Assembly members that if I tell you to do something, and my political father Yaya Bello tells you to do something, do what Yaya Bello tells you to do and ignore whatever I tell you to do. That is how much influence Yaya Bello has on the current governor of Kogi State. There are also allegations. Remember the commitment of the chairman of EFCC that says he would rather resign his appointment as chairman of EFCC than not see Yaya Bello being charged to court and persecuted. Well, Yaya Bello's case is cold at the moment, and has also picked up the ticket at the nomination to run for Kogi Central Senatorial District. If he picks up and is screened and cleared, he'll be running against the PDP sitting Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. So the question I'm asking is this: people that are under investigation, are they still eligible enough to aspire? Yes, they are, because the Constitution says you are innocent until proven guilty. But the weight of expectations and well, I'm not a moralist, but again, you put all of those things in context. But will the screening committee clear these people as well? We keep our fingers crossed. In the next 24 hours, perhaps 36, maybe 48 days. I mean, that's the, well, I'm sure the list to be out, and they will know the fate of the loyalist of Governor Fubara in Rivers State, and even the fate of Governor Fubara himself. Is he still going to be the APC candidate ahead of the 2027 governorship election in Rivers State? What is Wike saying? What is Wike doing? What are the plans that Nyesom Wike has for Rivers State? Because he said there is no party in Rivers, that it is a rainbow coalition, and if you don't belong to that rainbow coalition, you're not going to win any political office in Rivers State. So it says there's no PDP, there's no APC. They have a rainbow family, and that is the political structure that controls the politics of Rivers State at the moment. There's a lot to talk about. Like I promised, Friday there. We'll take a very short break. When we come back, we'll go straight up into the conversation. It's midweek politics on Mainland 98.3 FM. Don't forget, we're streaming this program live on all our social media platforms: Facebook.com/Mainland 98.3 FM, Instagram, X, and of course YouTube. You can always watch us and drop your comments. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll introduce the conversation. I bring up side forward, and we get straight down into it.
Good afternoon, Mr. President. And I want to use this medium to talk to you. Please, look at the youth of Nigeria. We are really suffering.
Politics plays its part in everything that defines us as a sovereign entity. Isn't it right to discuss what makes it tick? When the main actors converge in the power corridors to make decisions that affect the next meal, shouldn't we probe even deeper?
Nigeria is suffering. The suffering is too much.
When it comes to the complexities of politics, we strive to give it clarity, to deepen your understanding as the listener.
The decisive factor will be knowledgeable leadership committed to good governance.
Make it a date with Mɪᴅ-Wᴇᴇᴜ and Saïd Fuad on Midweek Politics every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. on your top dial, Mainland 98.3 FM. Politics, it's a whole meal.
Political enemies, they don't want you to succeed. Have you just realizing that? No matter what I do, they will still abuse me.
They spoil more and more. And next time they go, children they die more and more. No food to eat, no light to see, no water to drink.
Good to have you guys back on the show. From wherever you're listening to us, we welcome you and we invite you to always make it a day with us every Wednesday from 1 to 3 p.m. 120 minutes of hardcore political conversation on radio. We'll also take your feedback. So it is not just we or the analysts talking. We'll also allow you to join us. And you can also drop your comment on all our social media platforms. I promise to read all of those. And don't forget that this is not the only space that we can have a robust and thought-provoking conversation about leadership, governance, accountability, and dividends of democracy. Every Sunday, Saïd Fuad and his elite circle of analysts would always give you the best you can find anywhere. And I'm not just being boastful about that. It's a statement of fact. 6 to 8 p.m. on Political Roundtable every Monday to Friday as well. In the Situation Room, we'll always look at reasons for us to engage and continue to talk. And so it's always a space where we bring in seasoned analysts across political divide, stakeholders, interest group, anyone that can help us to speak truth to power and discuss issues of economic and politics. We'll always make those space available for you as well. In the Situation Room, every Monday to Friday. The Friday edition is the Yoruba version called Oroilu. So there's always the boss lady doing her thing and getting the conversation going as well. So we've got a bumper lineup of programs for you to engage you and make you a part of the discussion every single day of the week. Saïd Fuad, it's another Wednesday, and for Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa is a statement of intent, and it says this time around, after 22 years in the Lagos State House of Assembly, I am going to the next level, and I'm going for Agege Federal Constituency in Abuja. I will be contesting for the House of Representatives. The Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, has declared his intention to contest for the Agege Federal Constituency seat in the House of Representatives under the ruling party All Progressive Congress. The statement was made yesterday. Obasa said he has announced his ambition on Tuesday in the presence of party leaders, stakeholders, loyalists, and supporters. He went on to say that the move marked the beginning of another chapter in his legislative career after over 2 decades in the Lagos State House of Assembly. After 2 decades and 3 years of representing the good people of Agege State Constituency 1 in the Lagos State House of Assembly and serving for over 10 years as the Speaker, I believe the time has come to begin another chapter in my legislative journey. The lawmaker said the decision was driven by a renewed commitment to serve the people on a broader platform while building on the experience and relationship he had developed over the years in public office. Obasa went on to thank the residents of Agege for what he described as their trust and support since he was first elected into the assembly. As we move forward, I urge our party faithfuls and the good people of Agege to extend the same support to my brother, Honorable Kola Egunjobi, as he aspires to represent Agege Constituency 1. That is his successor. And in the Lagos House of Assembly, as well as Aziz Oladapo Yusuf Ninolowo for Agege State Constituency 2. Our collective focus remains the continued growth, stability, and development of Agege and Lagos State as a whole, I'm confident in the unity, loyalty, and unwavering commitment to the ideals of the party would continue to achieve even greater progress together. That is coming from Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. Obasa is one of the longest serving lawmakers in the Lagos State House of Assembly and one of the most influential figures in the Lagos State politics under the APC. It is now clear, crystal clear, that there's a strong one right there, and it is Agege Federal Constituency. 22 years in the Lagos State House of Assembly, the longest serving speaker, survived 2 governors, 4 years of Akinwumi Ambode and 8 years of Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. He says it's a renewed determination to bring better development to the people of Agege, and it's going to be doing it this time around at the federal level. What do you make of this side forward? Nobody's questioning ambitions. Nobody's questioning longevity or experience in the line of job. He's one of the most experienced lawmakers we have in this country. Very respected. I mean, the Speaker of Lagos House of Assembly is almost as influential as a state governor in some regions in this country. But what do you make of this new development side forward?
Well, I think they call him 001 amongst his peers, and whether anybody likes it or not, he's been able to establish himself as a major political stakeholder in Lagos. I'm sure that within the APC, the ruling party in Lagos, there's nobody that will get anything out of Agege without first consulting with Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. He's been able to firm up his grip, have a complete grip on the entire political structure in Agege, and that's why you notice that it appears that everything revolves around him. I've had a number of my friends, of course, Nuruddin, who say, I say the fact is, look, I don't think there's any leader in the ruling party of the APC in Agege that is as influential as Obasa as we speak. So he's the leader of the APC from that area. Now, this is a leader who, after completing this tenure as the speaker, will be the longest serving speaker in Lagos State. And, I think that would now make it 23 years of him being in the State House of Assembly. So he's outlived governors. He's seen the entire politics of Lagos play out. He has
been impeached, reinstated.
He's been impeached and so if there's a man who has seen politics, seen it all, I think we can safely say, look, he qualifies to be one of those politicians here in Lagos who, came out just like every other politician there, but has been able to survive, build, and progress to a point where it's now a major point of reference within the Lagos political space. Now, the build up to 2027, if you remember, the initial conversation was that he was looking at the senatorial seat for Lagos West. In fact, the initial was he wanted to be governor. But somehow the governorship thing went quiet, and eventually the talk was that, look, he's eyeing the Lagos West senatorial seat. That was the initial conversation, even though there was nothing from him regarding that. But of course, that was the conversation amongst his supporters and pundits who follow Agege politics. But eventually what we heard was that there was an agreement eventually to allow the current senator to still maintain her position in the coming 11th National Assembly. Again, these are just things we've been able to pick from politicians who are putting out this information. So it now came as a surprise when he said, "Oh yeah, well, let me just go to the reps." So and when it comes to the House of Reps too, as someone who has been the speaker of a state like Lagos, I'm sure if he gets to the House of Reps, he's not going to be
a regular floor member.
He's not going to be a regular floor member. Don't be surprised that he might actually be one of member. He's the first time he's going to the House of Reps, but they might be looking at his records,
his experience
as a speaker. So, what's the major difference, really? And all of that. So, that's the story of the next phase of politics for Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. He wants to go to the House of Reps. His son is currently the chairman of Agege. Agege 1. I think Agege is 1 and 2. Yeah, so. That's a Vinod, a young man who
and he's doing some amazing stuff.
I think generally Agege residents have acknowledge the fact that look, he's a young man who appears to understand what he's doing, and that all of the resentment, all of the sentiments against him has gone cold because of his performance. I think he's been able to use his performance, to bring silence, everybody together and silence his critics. I'm sure one of the people that would have been heavily critical of him would have been Nuruddin. But I've discovered that he has not seen any. I've not seen him talk about the guy at all. So that means that there must be something he's doing properly to have been able to avoid heavy criticism from people like Nuruddin and other guys who are concerned about development of Agege. So, but the declaration of the House of Reps did not just end. Obasa also used the opportunity of that event to now push forward two persons, one that will replace him, and the other of Agege constituency 2. So the immediate past chairman of Agege local government, Kola Egunjobi, has now been endorsed by Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa
to replace him.
For Agege constituency 1. Initially, Egunjobi was talking about some reps.
Yes.
So why I'm bringing it out is for you to understand how politicians. I think for politicians these days, it's just anything, just anywhere.
Just be power. There. Let me just be in power. So people can go from speaker to councillor as long as they're still within power. They say when you leave power, power leaves you.
So just be there and just remain relevant. Hold on to something. So because on Sunday, nobody was saying that they are surprised that in Agege there are people who pasted posters for a different position,
and they are
buying forms for a different position. So there are people, if you go to Agege now, whose posters are reading House of Reps.
Now they are scheduled for assembly.
But when they bought forms and they showed their pictures submitting their forms, it was about national. So I assume people like Egunjobi too will fall in that category because he'd always talked about going to House of Reps. So he probably would have pasted posters or campaign billboards showing House of Reps. But now
it's assembly.
If his guy wants to go to the reps, he has
to step down.
So because that's the leader of the party in that area. So he's going to Agege constituency 1, and then Mr. Nino Lowu, I think he's also very popular.
Yeah, very popular.
Within that axis, has been endorsed by Right Honorable Obasa to go for the Agege constituency 2 position again. I think these are the 3 guys that will take these positions, whether I would like it or not.
I'm also very positive. At least there's
for the fresh tickets,
fresh ideas. I mean, Mudashiru Obasa served President Bola Ahmed. He was in the assembly when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was governor. He was in the assembly where former governor Baba Fashola was there. He was also there as the speaker when former governor Akinwumi Ambode was there, and he's still the 7th speaker right now. And I remember we went to cover the sci-fi Alafi. You know what I want to say, but I won't say it in full details. But I remember we went to cover, the election in 2023, and then we were at his residence just to monitor proceedings. And you need to see that there's a polling unit directly opposite his gate, the gate of his house, and then you can imagine what comes out of that polling unit. And the crowd, people were just, there was a lot of merriment going around. People were just chilled. The officers were there, hang their rifles somewhere, unbuttoning their uniform. They were just chatting. I'm like, okay, this looked like a family affair, and it seems they're finding a way to sort it out. One of the most experienced lawmakers we have in this country, and one of the longest serving lawmakers in any of the state houses of assembly in Nigeria. So it's quite experienced. But my question is longevity really equates delivery of dividends of democracy? But Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa has declared his intention to go for House of Representatives for Agege constituency 1, and you can almost put your money on the fact that maybe it's just swearing that he'll be waiting for.
Well, again, with the way it is, he has Agege on lockdown.
On lockdown, side forward, on absolute choke.
Yeah, he's been able to spread his tentacles. He understands the nuances of Agege politics. I've seen a number of his videos. He's a man who understands the street.
It's grassroots.
The street to street politics.
It's grassroots.
The door to door politics. He's able to call people by name. He's able to identify people. They probably just they
as I said, it's a family business. So it's just the regular, just there.
So anyways, it's just a new development. We'll see what the other parties will come up with. Whether they stand a chance or not, but it looks like
Let's see what the new guys would also bring in. Two young, people now coming into the Lagos as far as if they win their election.
Well, I think for Ģegunjobi, some of us would hope that he's not going to be a lawmaker, but his performance as a chairman still has a lot of questions.
Exactly.
Again, there are quite a number of Agege residents who felt that he performed poorly. If you're going to even compare him to what this young man Vinod is doing, so there were a lot of questions around his competence, whether he was able to really deliver as chairman. To now even get this position of a State House of Assembly member. But whatever it is, we wish him all the best and see what comes out of that.
And Agege is really important to the politics of Lagos because of the number that comes out of Agege and because of the number of LCDAs that are within that domain as well. And so it's very important. And once again, big shout out to Honorable Vinod Obasa, the chairman of Agege local government. Aside from I talked about maybe a bit of resentment at the start, how he came in, vice chairman, then the chairman resigned and all of that. But I follow him on social media. I love his engagement. He's doing a lot.
The young man,
trying to,
if you cannot engage, then there's going to be a problem.
Exactly. Trying to connect, build some innovative hubs, bringing in movie practitioners, football pitches, organizing competitions. I think
he tries to listen to his people.
Yeah, he does.
That's one quality I think is helping him. Probably a bit of guidance from his father. You know what? You knew how you came in.
So you have to continue to reach out to these people.
Because again, here was a man that people had alleged came in from a very funny arrangement. But again, the end justifies the means. He's the chairman now,
and he's delivering.
People are no longer talking about how he came in.
They're now assessing his performance.
So the question is, can he sustain the momentum?
Hopefully, he does.
All
okay.
Right.
Well, let's focus on some of the issues that we have today. APC knock day, side forward, 30 governors, 88 senators, 242 reps, and 2,620 others know their fate today. Okay, no fewer than 30 to 31 governors, 88 senators, 242 reps members, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's the sole challenger, Osifo Stanley, and 2,620 others will know whether or not they would contest the 2027 election on the platform of the APC next year. And of course, also Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, House of Representative Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, Ogun East Senator Gbenga Daniels, former governor of Gombe State Ibrahim Dankwabo are amongst those screened by the party. As part of the activities to meet the timeline of INEC, the APC will today publish the names of cleared aspirants. It's been reported that there are about 2,980 aspirants for and 1 presidential slots, 28 governorship, 109 senate, 360 reps, and 991 state House of Assembly positions. The screening panel granted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu a waiver, so he didn't appear before the screening.
He's already been endorsed by leaders
yes.
of the
party. Among those screened between the 8th of May and 12th were a host of serving and former governors who purchased a submitted expression of interest and nomination form, including lawmakers and technocrats. Amongst those whose fate hangs in the balance is Stanley Osifo, the only aspirant challenging President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the ticket. He paid 100 million to pick up the APC nomination ticket. Another aspirant is Hope Uzodinma, who holds multiple positions as Imo State Governor, chairman of the APC Progressive Governors Forum, and the chairman of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors, leading President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's re-election push. It's been reported that the APC hierarchy is under pressure to prevail on Hope Uzodinma to drop his senatorial ambition, which they say would create crisis within the party. Side forward, in Ogun State, former governor and serving Ogun East Senator Otumba Senator Gbenga Daniels is locked in a tough fight for the seat with the serving governor Dapo Abiodun. There's also Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuwa Yahya, who is challenging Senator Ibrahim Azan Dankwabo, his predecessor in office, to the senatorial seat in Gombe. The House of Representative Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu, who is running for the Abia State governorship seat, recently fought against a petition accusing him of going to the law school and doing 1 year national service the same time. His fate also hangs in the balance, and it will be known today. Let's come back to Ogun State. Senator Noimot Salako Oyedele, Deputy Governor Noimot Salako Oyedele has two formidable opponents in former Senator Gbolahan Dada and ex-work commissioner Olayiwola Taiwo for the APC ticket in Ogun West Senatorial District. You know, at the moment, Ogun West is currently being held by the consensus candidate of the party in the state, Olamilekon Yayi. While most of the aspirants insist on direct primaries, kicking against consensus and threatening fire and brimstone if candidate were imposed, the national chairman of the APC, Professor Nentawe Yetwada, had ran the riot act, saying that if you cause chaos as an aspirant in the APC, we will expel you. Crystal clear. Okay. The national chairman said aspirants seeking political office on the party's platform, warning that the forthcoming primaries must be conducted peacefully and sanctions would follow. In a statement by his legal advisor on media and information, Abimbola Toiki, he says the leadership of the party will not tolerate any act capable of disrupting the smooth conduct of the primaries. He says any aspirant or supporter found instigating violence, sponsoring unrest, engaging in anti-party activities, or attempting to undermine the integrity of the process will face severe punishment, including immediate suspension from the party. Side forward.
All right.
Benga Daniels yesterday declared that he's fully prepared to contest the primaries with Governor Dapo Abiodun, expressed his confidence that he would win in a free and fair contest. Daniel, who spoke during the BAT OGD movement midterm assessment to empowerment program of Ijebu-Ode local government, says that I am ready to contest the primaries, but let us be free, fair, and credible. Okay. Side forward. It's Judgment Day. For those that knows their fate already, they are safe. For those that don't, they don't even know where they stand. In Rivers State, 63 aspirants were disqualified, 35 were screened in, and the allegations that the disqualified ones were the ones loyal to the sitting governor Fubara. Even Fubara himself does not know his fate if he's going to be the candidate of the party. In Lagos State, it looks like the endorsement has not been a consensus yet, as one of the candidates, popularly called SMA, from Badagry or something, picked up the ticket and was screened successfully. Well, we're still waiting for the list. But the political structure of Lagos, from Obasa to the chief of staff, former speaker, Femi Gbajabiamila, to Faleke, to the president himself, had endorsed the sitting deputy governor, that is Hamzat, as the successor to his principal. That will mean the first time that the deputy in Lagos will be succeeding his principal, and he's also going to be the oldest governor that Lagos had ever produced. He will be 62 by the time we're done with that election. In Ogun State, it looks like it's a done deal. Olamilekon Yayi seems to be the consensus candidate, and everyone seems to agree with that choice. What are the places that we should focus on? Is Rivers a place of interest to you? Kogi State, Yaya Bello picked up a senatorial nomination form, is still under investigation by the EFCC. Delta State, Ifeanyi Okowa will be attempting to take the ticket from Senator Ned Nwoko. Is also under investigation, allegation of embezzling over 1 trillion while he was in the PDP, but now is in the APC, and he also picked up nomination form. Are there things that we should expect side forward? Could there be heartbreaks today? For Fubara, Wike has said, if you don't belong to the Rainbow family, nothing for you. What are we expecting to decide for? I have to set the template for you so that we can dig into the conversation one off.
At least you've been able to, bring many parts of what is going to form the nucleus of our conversation to the table. The reality is this, and I think the APC family, from the first person to the last person, should consider themselves lucky as
very
a political
lucky
party that they have President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Very lucky.
I want to repeat it, Okoyemi. Professor Nentawe that is talking about sanction. I will expect they should, as a matter of how do I put it now? That look, there is a president who has all the political leverage to whip people back to line. Should there be a problem that comes up from this process, The reality is that, look, I am sure a lot of the party members cannot wait for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to be back in Nigeria.
Because
in fact, I'm sure that as he's there in Kenya, they'll be telling Oga, because there's a lot already on the table, and these are things that we've predicted. That look, you can't lump things together like this would not. And I will say it again: the divisions, the disagreements, the crisis you have in the opposition does not necessarily mean that politicians in the APC are better behaved, because they don't really have,
in quotes, chaos
as you have it in the opposition. It's not as if they are better behaved.
No, it's just because there's a central figure whose ambitions supersede anyone else.
The master says the koboko to whip them and say, look, if not that there's a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, this process will tear the party into pieces,
into shreds.
In fact, it will tear it into, and you can already see where they are going, and that's why I am even sure that Professor Nantawe is waiting for President Bola Tinubu to quickly arrive. I am sure that there are some cases that he himself cannot. He passes in power. Look, when the journalists were asking him about Rivers, why is it that some governors have not come for screening? You saw that Professor deliberately took like 5 minutes dancing around until God gave him what to say. He said, why are you asking about Fubara alone?
What about this governor?
I knew he was just buying time. He was just buying time. But luckily something came out. They have issues. They will soon come. There are issues beyond
the power of the national chairman.
I'm telling you. With some of these, in fact, some of these politicians will seem as nobody. Okay, what would a Nantai, for example, tell Opuzodima? He's Gwekini.
Where are you coming from?
Where
you contested in 2020.
You are not even a governor.
You've never been a governor. You've never been anything.
What would a Nantai, for example, tell a Abiodun? It's beyond his political pay grade. Forget it. So, but he himself is a lucky chairman.
I'm telling you,
because there's a president that can now call everybody and say, "Hey,
I'll close the door. Relax.
You,
align.
And it's almost across all the 36 states of But because of time, we cannot go state by state. But we just take a few ones so that people understand how complex some of these things are. Look at Opuzodima, for example. The game is not even about the control of the APC in Imo State. It is about
the Senate.
The Senate. There's already a game. Now, Opuzodima's tenure as a governor is not going to end in 2027.
He still has about 15 months to go.
It will end in 2028. But he's already eyeing the Senate. And the talks are that, look, he's probably looking at the position of the Senate president.
There are even rumors that the president has
even endorsed him, and that look, that if eventually the APC wins the 11th National Assembly, the APC will be zoning the Senate presidency to the southeast. And if you're going to be looking at people who are potential,
Opuzodima is there.
Former governor, former senator, and that was why an attempt to rewrite
the house rule was not a diplomatic thing. So it was a battle.
The decision of the National Assembly Senate to revert to the old Senate rules
was a command. Was something, an instruction from the command base.
You should tell people that this is not money. So the question is, if Opuzodima, for example, wins the senatorial seat as a sitting governor whose tenure will not end in 2027. So what it means is that he might eventually resign as governor.
But do you know his deputy resigned day before yesterday?
That's why a lot of realignment. I'm just telling you that, look, there's a lot of realignment that you're going to see. Again, a deputy governor resigning might mean that they don't even want him to succeed if he eventually resigns. There's still a lot of talk about Lagos too. We'll not talk about that now. So as it stands now, it's one area that a lot of people are going to pay attention to. Opuzodima, whether we like it or not, is probably one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful governor in Nigeria today.
Yes.
The chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum is also the chairman of the Renewed Hope Ambassadors. So the entire campaign structure
is under his command
of Mr. President today is under his command. Whether you like it or not, this is a man that hardly stays in Imo. There's hardly any time you see the picture of the video of the president that
and
you don't find
is not there.
There must be something about him and the president. There must be something going on between the two of them. So again, on Opuzodima, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how that politics play out. The politics of that is that, look, is Godswill Akpabio wants to also retain
his Senate
presidency seat. Is going to go home to run, but he knows that coming back at the 11th National Assembly, there's no guarantee that
that Senate presidency.
And I'm sure that Akpabio has enjoyed Senate presidency to the point of how do I go back as
a floor member?
But he might have to live with that reality. The way because
or he should not contest at all.
Or he should not just go to the Senate. Maybe he should just wait to become a minister, also, or maybe. So it's not. Look, the last time out, it was a consensus, even though Yari contested with him. Do you know that Akpabio would not have defeated Yari
if not for the support of the president? He defeated Senator Yari with just 17 votes.
So it was not a landslide.
And the president made it clear that this is my choice.
Despite having presidential support at that time.
Yes.
So now, if he does not have the presidential support, and then you have senators like Adams Oshiomhole, more ranking senators,
they're already on his neck.
So it's not going to be as easy as it was for him in 2023 when the 10th National Assembly was formed. Now, okay, let's quickly go to Ogun State. And I had some of our friends who covered the event of Senator Gbenga Daniels. He had this BAT something that he
BAT OGD
empowerment program yesterday, and some of our friends who were there had told me that, look, Gbenga Daniel knows what he's saying. That if they conduct a free, fair, credible party primaries, it will flood the governor.
Hands down.
I'm talking about the reports we are getting from our friends who are journalists, party members, people who are on ground in Ogun East, saying that, look, if the APC today throws it open and decides that, look, you guys slug it out, let the party members decide, because
OGD would come out.
It's going to floor him. And the thing about direct primaries now with INEC guideline is that, look, the party registrar will be difficult to manipulate.
Sure.
This is e-registration. This is not
hard copy.
And as it stands today, I am sure that all parties would have submitted the e-register.
Sure.
The politicians, the smart ones, would have gotten
the copy.
But again, these are party members. All party members would have to decide in a direct primary. And I've said it. The idea of misrepresenting endorsements for consensus, I don't know where these people got the idea from. You've seen that the Akpabio people have been talking about consensus. And hey, look, there's no consensus in the
It's an endorsement.
In fact, one of the newspapers that I called out over maybe I think it was last week or maybe on Monday, the Akpabio submits form as consensus candidate in Ogun East. I say,
where?
I say, this headline is a planted story.
Sure.
The entire story itself is planted.
Sure.
You know, because there's no record anywhere that the APC sold the consensus form. That there's a form and they want consensus. So how did they say he submitted his form as a consensus? Can only happen if all the aspirants agree, or you are the only one that picked up the form, no other person. Do you know that as it stands today in the APC, with this man for picking the form, the presidency, there's no consensus.
There's going to be a primary.
There's going to be if the man decide or if the party now decides to disqualify him. And I'm going to get there on what are the conditions
for disqualification
as an aspirant. We don't know. In fact, the rumor of 65 persons being disqualified
in Rivers,
I think will only be confirmed when we see the list today.
Because a report says that over 30 of them have gone to appeal.
So there's a lot of misinformation. A lot, again, this is the period of politics, so a lot of propaganda, misinformation, disinformation that you're going to have to deal with. But we are anxiously waiting for the final list. But you might have a situation where the list will come out with openings for reconsiderations of those who are going to file different appeals. I am sure that whatever list we have today may not be the final list. But whether it is the final or semi-final list, the reality is that all primaries must be concluded this May 30th. So whether the list is final or not, the reality is that, look, no matter what they do,
by 1st of June, the name that gets on the INEC table is the final list.
Becomes the final list. So so again, if people are going to be disqualified, the question is, are there established rules
On what ground?
On what grounds would you be disqualified as an aspirant? Again, I was asking, say this morning, is there a situation where before you even pick the form, they tell you the rules so you can pre-qualify yourself? You know, there's a way you can do a pre-qualification exercise
you assess
on yourself.
that
from all these rules,
do I have party card? Am I a financial member? Are my documents completed?
So you can, so before these guys picked up the forms,
I'm sure the party guidelines.
I don't know. I'm just saying
the party guidelines. I mean, if you are coming for screening, you know the party will tell you what to come with.
Okay, no, what you see, it's one thing to say what to come with. What are the conditions to you qualifying to run as a candidate, to run in the primaries? Because this is a stage, like a one-step stage into you officially, okay, I mean, participating in the primaries. So before they collected the form, the party, for example, is there a handbook where all the things that qualifies you to participate in the primaries are well stated, so that you can do a pre-qualification on yourself?
Okay, so aside for let me just rush through something real quick. For the APC, these current screening that they just conducted, they say that the screening focuses on credentials, party loyalty, and compliance with the Electoral Act. I'm still bringing it down, which includes submission of nomination form, verification of academic qualifications, and providing proof of party membership. It also went on to say that candidates are screened based on educational qualification, political experience, and team spirit. Key reasons for disqualification include insufficient nominators. If you don't have up to 120 members of your party signing your form
for nomination,
and because members of your party cannot sign multiple forms.
Yes.
If I've signed for candidate A, I cannot sign for candidate B.
I'm with you now.
So those are the things. And non-payment of party dues by supporters and inconsistency in credentials.
Now,
those are the conditions they gave.
These things you've listed, okay, I mean, they are still a bit vague, whether you like it or not. They are still somewhat vague, because it now depends on the interpretation of the panel to these things. So, for example, how do you define party loyalty? How do you define party commitment? To say, so how do you say, we are disqualifying you because
you are not committed to the party? You
have not been committed. So yes, there are some areas that are very clear, but there are some that can just be relative and open to
various
being used to disqualify candidates. But at the end of the day, I'm saying it again, the APC is lucky that they have a national leader who has the leverage, who has the power, who has state structure, political structure, all structure in the world that can make every politician whose head is hot to calm down. There used to be a leader like that too in the PDP at some point. If you are not happy, they chase you out of the party. And so if you have President we say, he's warning anybody that wants to cause trouble, it's because he knows that there's a leader that can. I'm telling you, I am sure that the president would have been, there will be a lot of distractions already. He needs to come back home, because it is not only, look at Gombe, even the deputy speaker who wants to become governor.
Yes.
There are other people. He was just even lucky to become the deputy speaker, because at some point they needed to give the deputy speaker to the southeast. So I am sure there are people in Abia that will say, so, and there's a fight on who controls the state between
him and Alex Oti.
Not even Alex Oti. Alex Oti I'm talking of the Ojius or
Kalu. Yes,
Alex Oti Labour Party.
Yes,
that one is on. In fact, we don't even know whether there's an agreement, whether there's also a rainbow coalition in Abia.
Exactly,
because Alex Oti had just stayed quiet. He's been doing his thing since,
and has not hidden his admiration.
The last time he had an alignment with Obi in the Labour Party, I've not seen talk about Obi again. He didn't even follow Obi. So a lot that that we'll still have to unpack as far as the APC is concerned, and the screening exercise. Would have to wait for the list that comes out today. Would have to wait to see how the party will attend to complaints and petitions of those who may not be dissatisfied, or who will not be dissatisfied about the entire process. But at the end of the day, the party is lucky at this time that at least there's somebody that can help them. Okay, look at the Rivers matter. I am sure that at the end of the day, the president will still have to step in, whether we like it or not. In fact, look at Oyo State. I'm sure we're going to get to Oyo when we talk about Makinde. Even Oyo State is now very hot. If you follow the campaigns in Oyo, I'm not talking about even in APC. The way Pᴏʟɪᴛɪᴄs Adebayo Adelabu is talking,
Samsudeen Ali,
Senator Sarafa Ali,
Teslim,
I'm not even Senator Fatai
Buhari, exactly.
These guys are not joking. People are talking about Pᴏʟɪᴛɪᴄs, they are talking about Ali, but Senator Fatai Buhari, people should go and check his credentials.
Ooh.
One of the longest serving senators in the country. He has Oyo East on lockdown,
as in absolute lockdown.
You know, when this other young man decided to run for senatorship,
Pella,
I had people from Oyo saying, you and Fatai Buhari.
Are you from where?
From
you
where
did reps 4 years.
Then you think
you even crossed a relatively unknown party.
So that's to tell you the strength of Senator Fatai Buhari in Oyo State. I don't want us to derail the conversation. I'm just saying that even in the APC in Oyo, and in the APC alone, I think there are about 11 candidates,
aspirants, yes,
who have picked up forms. And again, you know, when you have that number of people picking up forms, don't be surprised that it's still a game. You know, because you might just see that on primaries day, people will be stepping down for one. We've seen it before. But the reality is that, look, it's almost like a 3-horse race, a tough one at that, between Pᴏʟɪᴛɪᴄs, Sharafa Ali, and Senator Fatai Buhari. Because if Senator Fatai Buhari decides now that he's no longer going to the Senate,
he cannot. Yes,
he's not going to joke with the governorship ambition. He's serious.
Yes,
because he would have just played this safe, go back to the Senate.
He has said he's not doing Senate. He didn't pick up form for Senate.
So it means that he's not joking about his intention to become the governor of Oyo State. But again, Oyo has its own political peculiarities. We're going to discuss it. But I'm just saying that, look, we'll keep our fingers crossed. Wait for what happens with the screening committee of the APC. Let's see the list they will come up with. Let's see what the announcement will be on people who have petitions and who may want to question the decision of the screening committee. But across all states, something interesting everywhere. In fact, even in states like Kebbi, there are issues. In Adamawa, there are issues.
Even Plateau State. So the twist with Plateau is that Mufwang was elected not because he was the most popular.
Of course, at that time.
Everybody knows that the current APC national chairman, Professor Nantawe, was the most popular of all the candidates
at that time.
But the people didn't want the All Progressive Congress. And the governor then, now Senator Simon Bakula Long, was the governor of the APC. In fact, he was the chairman of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu campaign organization. Yeah. And he failed to deliver his state because Peter Obi won Plateau State. In fact, Lalong lost his own senatorial election. It was because of the issue within the PDP, the factional leadership, that meant that all of those were disqualified. And Lalong eventually left as Minister of Labour and went back to the Senate. So he couldn't even deliver his own senatorial election for himself. But a lot has changed, especially with the constant security issues on the plateau right now. The ratings don't look good for Governor Mufwang, and they're asking, when you were in the PDP, you were commissioning projects, you were doing a lot. Now you've gone to the APC, you barely stay in the state. It is Abuja today. So there's a younger person that is coming from the zone of the national chairman of the party. Bida, young guy, retired from the military, but is from the zone of the national chairman of the party. The national chairman is from PKK, is specifically from Kanke. And the person that picked up form against the sitting governor is also from Kanke.
But there was a promise to this defecting governor before they came into the APC.
Return ticket.
They said there was going to be automatic return ticket from them. So why people are surprised is that, look, why are people still picking forms in states of defecting governors? There are states where no APC members have picked up forms. Yes. I think in Delta, for example, nobody in the APC. And some other states that governors are defected and who are eligible for a second
term. But there are states where people are picking forms
against this governor. Yes. One of them is Plateau State.
Yes.
So, and if the person picking up the form is also from the town of the chairman of the party, So that's why I'm saying that.
And the chairman was defeated by the sitting governor.
All of them cannot wait for Oga to come back. Oga has to come back quickly before the things scatter. So we'll keep our eyes on some of these things and keep reporting it.
All right, and of course, we mentioned Oyo State briefly, and let's just go fully into the Oyo State's developing story as well. Okay, this is about the sitting governor of the state. That is His Excellency Governor Seyi Makinde. Well, a report reaching us says that the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde may formally declare his presidential ambition during a rally built for the ancient Makpo Hall in Ibadan, southeast local government area of the state tomorrow, which is Thursday. At the event tagged Unity Mega Rally Ibadan 2026 is expected to serve as an official launch of Makinde's anticipated 2027 presidential bid, alongside the unveiling of a political alliance between the PDP and the APM in the state. Remember, to herald that arrival of Seyi Makinde, the governor of Bauchi State, the only two governors left in the PDP, had gone to the APM 2 weeks ago. So, aside from declaring his presidential bid, Makinde is also expected to unveil aspirant seeking state and national elective position on the platform of the APM. Bala Mohammed has gone to APM already. Okay. Recall that there was a wave of resignation by political office holders in the state, especially those seeking position in the 2027 election from the PDP to the APM, and people are saying that just the John the Baptist to welcome Seyi Makinde into the APM. Among those expected to be unveiled on the APM platform are former Commissioner for Finance in the state, Bimbo Adekombi, as the party's governorship candidate, Stanley Olajide Olufemi Ajadi, and Shina Pella as the presidential candidate of the parties across the 3 senatorial districts in Oyo State. So again, Shina Pella, if he picks up the ticket,
he moves another party.
He's still going to another party
APM,
on the platform of the APM. The declaration rally is expected to be preceded by the signing of an agreement between leaders of the APM and the Taminu Turaki faction of the PDP on the terms of the alliance. The credible source gave us that would sign form of alliance with the APM involving the national chairman of our own faction, led by Taminu Turaki SAN. Ahead of the rally, the camps have been testified with party leaders from both camps expected to start arriving in Ibadan today. Well, the May 14 rally is expected to attract political stakeholders, youth groups, community leaders, traditional supporters, and allies from across the country, particularly believed to align to Governor Makinde's style and political vision. Although the governor is yet to make an official policy statement regarding his intention to contest for the presidency, but support groups and interest groups and political associates and even jingles have continued to roll out, and they've intensified the calls for him to join the race. Well, several grassroots mobilizers, political associates, and loyalists to the governor are reportedly making strategic moves as consultation over a broader political structure continued to gather momentum. Could it be a Seyi Makinde and a Bala Mohammed joint tickets on the platform of the APM? All of the political parties now seems to be zoning the ticket of their party to the south. The NDC announced the same on Sunday. The ADC had also announced this. They are throwing the form open.
Yeah.
The APC obviously has done the same. I had the Southwest Vice Chairman, of the of the PPM. Also join us of the APP, Action People's Party, yeah. And it says that they've also zoned their presidential ticket to the south. If the APM and their collaboration, by the way, before the governor of Bayelsa State, Governor Diri, moved to the APC, it was the chairman of the zoning committee of the PDP that zoned the presidential ticket to the south. So if that arrangement is still being upheld,
yeah,
could we see a Seyi Makinde? Bala Mohammed had never hidden his ambition to contest for the office of the president, but he's gone to the APM. What are we expecting in Ibadan tomorrow? We saw a proper mega rally yesterday by the former minister of power, moving the powers that be within the APC in Oyo State. There is also the Accord Party aspirant, the man that is very popular on radio in the state, Oriyomi Hamzat. That is what he's using to campaign. But what are we expecting tomorrow side forward? It's a mega event in Ibadan.
Well, the masquerade will be unveiled because
Finally.
Finally. There have been a lot of questions around the political choices, decisions of Governor Seyi Makinde since the unresolved crisis of the PDP that appears to be an issue that may never go away. As it stands today, the judgment of the Supreme Court is still being interpreted the way these politicians like. Everybody just, even with the CTC. In fact, Okoyemi, I've gone through the certified true copy of that judgment, and with the way the politicians are interpreting it and some of the things some lawyers have told me, I'm even more confused
than before.
Than even before I got the CTC. I've been talking about I needed to see the CTC. I've read through the CTC. I've spoken to about 3 lawyers. Everybody just, I said, you know what? At the end of the day, power. So because at the end of the day, somebody will tell you Anyan was mentioned, Anyan was not mentioned. There was a cross appeal. If the cross appeal means it's about Anyan, I said, you know what? At this stage, anyways, what's our own? We are not even members of your party. Anyway, you want to do, just go ahead. So, but for tomorrow, the Mapo Hall, a very significant hall. That's a hall that has a lot of political significance.
Around
people don't know. So, Seyi Makinde would eventually unravel. Sheyi for the way he came in. So, his Seyi will be unraveled. It will be seen completely. Now, if there's an alliance between the Terminal Suraki PDP faction, Seyi Makinde's faction, and APM, and if all the candidates, if this report is true, because the punch was clear, even with the airline, means that nothing is sure.
As I emphasized in the story.
But then these stories don't just happen. These stories don't just come out. And if you have them also putting a day to it, it means that there's something to the story, and that's why we're discussing it. So let us assume that it happens. What it means is that if Seyi Makinde will run as president on the platform of the APM, it means that he has resigned
from the PDP
without informing the PDP or just telling his inner caucus, the leadership of the party. Because as at a week ago or so, there was still this what was it called, the caretaker committee that was formed, yes. And I think he was chosen as the national leader or something of that caretaker committee. So if he's going to run truly, it means that he's no longer a member, because he cannot be a member of the PDP and run on the platform of the APM. The new electoral law has foreclosed all that kind of arrangement. You can't be, and you cannot be a member of 2 political parties. In fact, INEC as of today or yesterday has been telling people, if you are a registered member of a 2 political party, there might be consequences for it,
because you can no longer deregister yourself.
And I keep telling people, if you are not interested in participating in party primaries, you don't have to register as a member of a political party. But if you are interested in a candidate and you know that at the end of the day it's going to be direct primaries and you want to partake in the process,
you can register.
Go ahead and register as a member of a political party. But for voting, general election in 2027, you don't have to be. It's not voting on election day.
It's not on political party.
There's no requirement that says you must be a member of a registered political party. So I think we need to establish that. So for Seyi Makinde, the information we are getting of Kwemi is that, look, he has an anointed candidate already for governorship of the state. Whether we like it or not, there's no outgoing governor
that doesn't want to have a successor.
So the successor, his chosen successor, is already a problem. Okoyemi. I'm going to read out a report. I think this report is about 3 days ago from the Vanguard or from one of the newspapers about even stakeholders in the PDP disagreeing with the choice
of the former Minister of Finance,
the former Commissioner for Finance under Ajimobi. In fact, what the PDP caucus, the same caucus that Seyi Makinde had put up as saying is that this man is not even a member of our party. It's not up to 2 years that he joined us. He's a known APC man. Why is he your choice? They had been looking at some other people. How Seyi Makinde arrived at this choice is still a mystery to a lot of PDP members and his own inner caucuses in Oyo State. So he might also have to deal with how to solve the problem of that inner party dissatisfaction about his choice. The name of the guy, the man that is putting forward, that's Seyi Makinde now. And yes, I just want to take that report so that people understand. And when politicians do these things, you ask yourself, what are they seeing? What are they doing? what are the calculations? Now, his name is Abimbola Adekombi. And the report is saying that Governor Seyi Makinde's decision to name Abimbola Adekombi as his preferred candidate for the 2027 governorship election has triggered strong backlash from Oyo PDP stakeholders, who overwhelmingly rejected him in favor of Dr. Debo Akande. So it means that this is a conversation that they are already having. This report is not saying me that the stakeholders rejected Adekombi, but they are saying that Seyi Makinde is insisting that that is his choice. Now, they carefully constituted 21-member stakeholders panel. This panel was even considered by the governor. So they are not strangers. He himself constituted the panel, what is called a stakeholders panel, drawn from across the state's geopolitical zones. Look at the voting. Voted 20-1. They did a voting. 21 members that the governor put together voted 20-1 in support of Akande.
Yeah, sure.
Who is the Director General of the Oyo State Agri-Business Development Agency. Adekombi, the governor's anointed choice, received only one vote, 20-1. Now, the process began with a 5-member inner caucus that sat for 15 hours. It sat for 15 hours. The business of politics of where they sat for 15 hours. In initial voting, Adekombi scored 0 votes, while Akande led with 3. After a recess and further deliberations the following day, the expanded stakeholder meeting delivered a decisive 20-1 verdict for Akande. Sources within the party allege that despite this clear position, a directive was issued to set aside the result and declare Adekombi as the governor's preferred candidate. The move is said to have been heavily influenced by Otumba Sheye Famujuro, a close ally of the governor. Again, some of these allegations. Stakeholders opposed to Adekombi raised 3 main concerns. These are their concerns. Number 1, his record as commissioner for finance under former governor Abiola Ajimobi, during which civil servants suffered prolonged salary arrears. So they said, look, as commissioner for finance, civil servants suffered a lot of arrears. They were not paid as and when due. Now, another thing they are saying is that his recent defection to the PDP on December 10, 2025, after contesting the 2023 Oyo South senatorial ticket on the APC platform.
Yes. He just became a few months ago.
So that's not a member of, they don't know him. He's not one of them. He just came in some few months ago. And his Christian faith. So religious coloration to the
pleading. Because
again, there are people who say, look, there's this gentleman agreement in Oyo State. When a Muslim, he goes back to a Christian. Ajimobi, a Muslim. Seyi Makinde, a Christian. So there are people playing the religious card to say, look, after Seyi Makinde, it will be a Muslim. But he is a Christian. So all this on the table, the governor has this problem to solve now. He also has the problem of a platform to solve. All his candidates, have they moved ahead of the INEC deadline? Because the party registration thing was submitted on the 10th of May. So have they all moved to the APM? Have they registered properly?
Closed doors that we didn't know.
Have the party, have they submitted their names
as members
to INEC? Seyi Makinde, if it is true, has he left the PDP? So tomorrow a lot will be unraveled. But the reality is that, look, while he's solving this problem, while he has to contend with dissatisfaction within his own inner caucus, the Oyo race is going to be tough.
Very tough. Very tough.
Very, very tough. The APC is not joking as a political party.
I'm sure they are very interested in the states.
My mind tells me that at the end of the day, even if they have these direct primaries, the president will step in. I don't think the president will not be able to talk to any of these people.
Of course.
To share their sword. If they eventually gets to a point where the president has to step in.
Of course.
It's something that I'm sure he can always do. He has his leverage over somebody like Senator Sharafa Ali, who is said to be the political prodigy of the Olubadan. And I'm sure that a phone call through to the Olubadan
can change everything.
Will solve any problem from the Sharafa Ali camp. Adelabu will not say no to Mr. President. That's an established fact. And then even Senator Fatai Buhari, I'm sure at some point may have to also look at his options. So depending on where it goes, I'm sure that the APC may find a way to solve their problem after the primaries. But again, there is this conversation, Okwemi. Should it always be about Ibadan? Where is this issue of equity, fairness, and justice? That's what some people are also saying. That our politicians will go to the national level to go and talk about equity, fairness, and justice.
But in their states, they are doing something different.
And that is one thing Senator Fatai Buhari is pushing. That must it be Ibadan every time? But if you look at the political calculations in Ibadan, the numbers, if you are not careful as a political party and you don't present somebody from Ibadan, you lose.
Either as a governor, as a running mate.
Ibadan has 11 local governments alone. The numbers are there. You cannot say Baonit Ibadan in Oyo and win. But when will there be that balance? Where will their equity come from as far as governorship is concerned in Oyo State? That's one question that is there in the minds of a lot of people in Oyo State. So we'll see what happens at the end of the day. You know, I like the month of May, Okwemi. I like this month because as we are ending this month, all speculations have to end.
Yes, yeah, May.
all May
break your career.
All the May will end in May.
From June is,
you know, the finality.
Yes.
So all the May
the candidates may lose.
All the May around the political parties will end in May. So by the time we end the month of May, we are dealing with certainty. We are knowing who the aspirants are, and then we can now begin to talk about inter-party politics. We can now be talking about, okay, who are these people? Okay, assess their credentials. But as it stands, a lot of intrigues among the political parties, or Oyo would also be very, very interesting. And that Oriyomi of the Accord Party.
It could be the spoiler.
I don't know. I don't want to call it the spoiler.
I said it could be.
It could. Because that would mean, because again, he has the numbers too.
Did you see his declaration a few months ago?
But people are saying that, well, his sphere of influence within Oyo politics.
It's just within
Ibadan. That look, you know, the way politics is played in Nigeria.
Does he have to finance 33 local governments? Is a lot.
So does he really have what it takes to really push through financially his ambition? That look, the fact that a lot of people are saying, Oyo, when money comes in, that
surely down your loan.
Oyo is about something.
Surely down.
So can you oil that wheel? We are not talking reality.
But as a governor, Osun State governor,
that one too is battling his own. Waiting concern that one.
He's very quiet.
Oh my goodness! Look, the reality is that Adeleke just wants to become. He wants to win a second term. I doubt if he's going to commit to anything Oriyomi Hamzat is doing. I really doubt he's going to do anything like that. He received him recently, I think maybe a day or two ago. But I'm thinking that at the end of the day, Oyo will give us something interesting, you know, to see in the political space. Because
whether you like it or not, you can't also rule out the possibility of the presidency wanting to win Oyo State. Remember in the last election,
that's also a factor.
The G5, Seyi Makinde not honoring Atiku Abubakar, not even receiving Atiku Abubakar when it came to campaign, not attending his rally, delivered the state for the president. A lot of us heard that there was some underground agreement that, okay, you know what, myself and Teslim, we are your boys, leave us. Let us both go to the field. And remember, Senator Teslim did not challenge the outcome of that election, and everything just went smooth. And
there are people who said that happened because of the G5 arrangement.
Exactly.
That look, Teslim had been told to just, you know, allow it to go, let it slide, and that was why he didn't put up any real resistance even after the
outcome of the election.
But on a wider level, Okwemi, if Seyi Makinde decides to run for president on the platform of the APM, how does that change
the dynamics of Oyo State?
Not even Oyo State, the dynamics of the presidential election. Remember that it was this same Governor Makinde who had hosted opposition leaders, where they all promised that they will present a single candidate. It happened in Oyo.
Yes, that's the Oyo Opposition Summit.
Where so if the Oyo State governor who called for a summit where they all promise to give us one candidate.
No, maybe that's what they are doing. Maybe all these APM, maybe at the end of the day, they will just carry the entire structure and go to the ADC or the NDC.
They are not okay. What are you saying?
No,
what we have now, this same opposition that converging
in Ibadan.
Obi Kwankwanso has gone to the NDC. That's the OK ticket with a lot of vibe and momentum, whether anybody likes it or not. Atiku appears to be the one that will lock down the ticket of the ADC. Forget about, yes, Rotimi Amaechi will give a good fight, but is he going to be able to play his politics to the point where, because the ADC leaving his ticket open means Atiku is not joking? Okoyemi. Because if Atiku wanted to play the godfather role or the elder statesman role in that party, one of the easiest ways would have been to say, oh, well, Atiku says I'm not going again because, again, the party had said that, they are zoning the ticket to the south. But leaving it open means Atiku is not joking. And if you listen to the recent comments, which I think is also a conversation that we are supposed to have, when Atiku said that, oh, why are people talking about zoning? Why is zoning part of the conversation now? Even though people are going to remind Atiku that in 2011, when he wanted to contest against Jonathan, he was also promoting zoning. That, Jonathan should not contest because at that time he had only completed the time of the North, and that he should allow the North go on when he wanted to contest, go on ruling the country for the sake of zoning, equity, and fairness. But the same article is telling you now that, look, zoning is a ridiculous thing to put forward now, because it thinks that, look, what we should be looking at is competence. He also talked. He also talked about the empirical facts of how incumbent president can be defeated in an election. What he has said is that, look, there's no evidence to show that an incumbent was defeated by an opposition candidate from the same region. That, look, we don't have it on record that an incumbent president was defeated by an opposition candidate from the same region. And my own analysis of that is that, look, do we even have anything beyond just a one-off situation? The only time an incumbent president will be defeated
was in 2015
was Jonathan. So is that one incident enough to validate that assumption, that theory of ease? That, look, if you want to defeat an incumbent president in Nigeria, the candidate must be from
another zone,
from another geopolitical zone. It must not come from, because again we are talking about north and south. So that is theory. Can that singular thing that happened in 2015 validate that theory? If we had it like 3 times, for example, or even twice,
of course, it's enough to put it out.
But just happening once, a one-off thing, and
everybody understood the build up to that election.
So I disagree, because there's nothing. There are no we don't have enough situation to justify or validate that assumption. But he also talked about from 1999 till date that, look, it is even the North that should be complaining.
Send forward. I remember the day I gave this breakdown.
Yes.
Mr. Matthew Okoda was on the show that day. And he said, if you look at the balance, by the time President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is done with his administration, the South will have produced the president for 18 years. And even when they were not producing the president, they had a vice president for 8 years and 2 years, which is 10. So let's break it down. In 1999, we had a southern president, specifically a southwestern president for 8 years. He handed over to a northerner. So let's not break it down. Let's just say south and north. Let's just say northeast or northwest. He handed it over to a northerner. And then he couldn't complete his 4 years.
He did 2 years.
Nature took its course. A southerner came back, completed the 2 years, and did another 4 years. That means within the space of give and take 16 years, the South did 14. 8 plus 6, that's 14. The North did only 2. And then when the South left, after doing 14 years, the North came
8 years
and did another 8 years, plus the 2 that they did, making it 10. And then when that North was done, the South also came back, and the South at least constitutionally would do 4. let's give and take. If they are lucky, they do another 4.
Yes.
That means if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu wins the election till 2031, the South will have produced the president for 22 years.
Yes.
The North will have done only 10
years. So that's
valid.
That's Atiku's argument. That look, if we are talking about North and South on the basis of
the North should be the one complaining.
That they should be the one complaining. Again, he's saying that to justify why he deserves to run and why it makes sense for him to run. But you've also seen that look, a lot of the obedient supporters who think it's an attack on them. That particular country, I say that you know what, you cannot stay in 1999. Let's even go to 1960. If that is the case, so you why would you just stay in 1999? Let us even go back to 1960 and begin to check how many times others have ruled the country and all that. But you know what, Okoyemi? I just said it during the show that look, when politicians push
their narrative,
all these narratives, it is only when their issues are at stake or when it affects their interest. In reality, they don't even believe in these things. They would always come up with different excuses to justify a situation, especially when their interest is involved. I am sure Atiku does not even believe in equity, fairness, and justice. It's about his personal interest. The reality is that our politicians are just after their own interest. And my question to the Atiku camp would have been, if you knew that this was what was in your mind, that look, the North actually deserves to win again, why did you even go into the coalition
in the first
promising
place?
Consensus? You look, all you guys already, and that's why I keep saying it, Okoyemi, that look, you know, every time we talk about the coalition and the promises they were making and the way they were sitting together, I keep saying it, that look, we should pay attention, we should pay more attention
to the things that were not being said
in the public. That half of the things they are saying in public, these guys don't mean it. About 3 editions ago on Political Roundtable, by Sir Curtis and Mr. Mɪᴅ-Wᴇᴇᴜ said the same thing. That our politicians are crazy. That when they are saying, anytime they say something in the public, don't bother with them. Watch their actions. Look at their actions more than what they are saying. Does it align with what they are saying? And that's why I just said it. What was it that they saw that made them come together under the same
coalition? And they said the opposition will present
and so that's why I'm saying that the only excuse to give now is that is what they are doing now a strategy? Is it a strategy? That okay, if we stay in one party, it will be easy for the APC to attack us the way they have been alleged.
But let's split first.
So when we split, so that when we split, they don't even know who to attack.
Then later,
in fact, they might even just sit back and say, well, one could take pain and one. So at the dying minute, the last minute,
we
will now not leave our political parties, but drop our ambitions and endorse a candidate on a platform.
Side forward.
I'm just that's the only rational. That's the only way to rationalize what they have done. I'm just saying.
What will be on the table for them? What will be in need for them?
No, well, we don't know.
Because they will have spent so much billions to campaign to do everything across the country. I know that what this strategy I've just talked about now. In plain terms does not really make sense. Does not make sense.
But I'm just saying that for politicians who have gathered together and promised Nigerians that they will present one candidate, the only way to rationalize what they are now doing or what they've done,
maybe the end goal is what you just said.
So that's the only way to try to make any meaningful thing out of it, because they knew after the 2023 election that look, the only way to defeat President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is to work together. Obi acknowledged it. Atiku said it. Even a Seyi Makinde too. At some point, I talked about the need for all of them to work together. So if they all agreed that, look, this is not a Buhari government, this is Tinubu. I've said it up till today. I have not seen enough commitment to a free, fair, credible election
from the president.
I'm not saying it will not happen, but there's not enough commitment that I have seen that this coming election will be fair, credible, and transparent. But be that as it may, the opposition had all agreed. Leaders of the opposition have told us that they must work together to be able to defeat this president. Atiku understands politics very, very well. It's not someone that you push aside when you talk about the politics of Nigeria. It's well grounded. So if they have now decided to divide themselves the way they've done it, what then were they thinking? And that's why I'm trying to create some sense,
some scenario.
I know it doesn't really make sense, but I'm just trying to see whether there can be sense in the nonsense they have done. Because the reality is that, look, this is already looking like 2023. It's already looking like 2023. Because look, to grind out the results that can defeat, and again, you know, to defeat an incumbent, it must be obvious that you have been defeated.
Because there could be basis for it to be challenged.
Or say no. This look. I've seen people who have called you say, oh, if they defeat Tinubu, you will not. I say no. If the opposition can work together, and the defeat becomes,
there's a level of defeat that
he himself will say, I know.
You will call. You will make a call.
People will call him and say,
Emma challenge
if it becomes
obvious
that, you know what,
of course,
the figures are showing that, look, there's nothing you can do. This is
gone.
real. At some point, he probably will tell himself the truth. But if you leave it to the point where it's shaky, it's not completely decided, and when you tear yourselves apart like this, what? But again, we are not politicians. Mr. Adeyemi had told me, say, right, the way politicians see things, don't be the way we journalists see that even when politicians hire political consultants who put up the data for them, who do the research for them,
and tell them, there's no way here
that this is not speculation. No. On the basis of these facts, a lot of people
my people are outside
because as you know, so they will tell you, and you know, because when they go to their gatherings, the man that cannot win a local government, they call him His Excellency.
Incoming.
And they know
he's not going anywhere. He's not coming anywhere.
So let's allow our politicians live in their reality. But what has happened so far? The only way to make sense out of it is to say, well, it's a political decoy for a last-minute endorsement of a single candidate. But does it really make sense? No. But can it make sense? Let's see.
It can. Everything is possible.
Yeah.
Well, good to have you join us. The messages here are piling up, and then I'll try and pick your calls also. 0913-600-0410. It's midweek politics on Miller 98.3 FM, and the voice we've been hearing in the analysis is aside forward. Drilling in and letting us know the fact and the figures and the numbers. We've talked about Oyo State, we've talked about Mɪᴅ-Wᴇᴇᴜ, we've looked at some of these key states that the decision or the final screened list that we released today could impact. We looked at Delta states, especially the Senate. We looked at Kogi State, we looked at Plateau State, we looked at Gombe State, we looked at Nasarawa State. Exactly, because the governor is endorsing someone else. The immediate past governor is also endorsing the former Inspector General of Police. So there are a lot of states that were really looking forward to what the decision of the screening committee would be at the end of today, based on the deadline of INEC. 48 hours to appeal, and of course the 48 hour ends today. So we keep our fingers crossed. Trust us here tomorrow, Thursday. Beautiful time. Mr. Mɪᴅ-Wᴇᴇᴜ would be here. He's promised to be here physically in the studio tomorrow. We'll look into some of these candidates, because as at that time, the path has been narrowed, so you can actually focus on individuals now and a bit away from the internal party politics. And of course, expect us to open our mainland ballot 27 studios anytime soon, especially once the primaries are concluded. Well, the NDC had also released the guidelines for their primaries at convention, and that will be on the 28th of May, 2 days to the May 30 deadline of INEC. So let's allow you join the conversation. What do you want to say? Well, the Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly says he's going to be contesting for the Federal House of Representatives to represent the good people of Agege in Abuja. What do you make of that decision? Experience counts, they say, but again, does the longevity equate performance? And then would this be a referendum on what Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa had done in Agege for over 20 years that he's been in the House of Assembly? We'll also look at the dynamics of the APC screening. What are the results? What are we expecting tonight? And when the list finally comes out, we'll discuss that on the show as well. Today, we looked at the Opu Zodima conversation. Somebody sent me something real quick. I hope I'll have enough time to read through that particular calculation as well, especially with the Ūzodimma situation. His deputy governor had voluntarily resigned, and there are permutations that the new governor may be brought in, sworn in, he would resign towards the end of the administration, and then the governor could be the placeholder ahead of. There's just so much around Ūzodimma. But again, in case we also don't know that one of the reasons why the house rule was altered 2 weeks ago and says that anybody that wants to contest for the principal officers on the floor of the Senate must have done 8 straight years. Ūzodimma was in the Senate. He resigned from the Senate to contest as governor. So if he's coming back, he's not coming in as a new senator. He's coming back and is qualified to contest as a senator because he will be regarded as a returning senator. But if that particular house rule that again has been returned to status quo has been upheld, what Senator Adams Oshiomhole is saying is that even the current Senate president is not qualified to also contest, because you were in the Senate. Yes, you were in the Senate, you resigned, you left.
Was not consecutive.
You went to be Minister of Niger Delta, then you came back. So you've also not done 8 years if you are going to go by the house rules. But the politics is very intense. Is interesting, and we'll keep our fingers crossed. Let's open the phone line 0913-600-0410. We pick the calls. We'll also read the load of the messages that you have been sending. Okay, this one says, good afternoon to you guys. Side for your head is full, I swear. Me that came from Oyo State, I don't know this much about my states. You guys are gurus. Well done. I agree to fundamentally. I think my contribution today will be more of questions, and I want Mr. Afar to clear me on that. First, is the speakership position for a state, especially like Lagos, not bigger than that of the House of Reps? Even though both assemblies are representing just the constituency, just that one is at the federal, the other one at the state level. I'm speaking regarding Obasa. Is being the number 3 man in the state not bigger than being an ordinary reps member? Secondly, side forward, does it mean that nobody can join any party again as a member? I mean ordinary citizen, because the INEC timetable, or does the INEC have a timetable for people who can resume membership of a political party? Because I'm still confused. This is a lengthy one. James Ogbona from Oshodi. I mean ordinary citizen because of the INEC timetable, or does the INEC timetable have a time where people can resume membership of a political party? Is the timetable only for those contesting, or applies to every citizen who wants to join a political party? If Governor Fubara is eventually dropped, then would it be a case of a witch cried last night and a child died this morning? With the visit of Wike to the national chairman of the APC, remember, the FCT minister visited Professor Nentawe day before yesterday. Okay, would it be very unfortunate for the ABC if that happened, because they allow one man who is not a member of their party to dictate for them? What do you make of that question? The speaker in Lagos, number 3 man, or a reps member in Abuja?
Well, if you understand the nuances of politics, the sphere of influence. Now, as a House of Reps member, and you are a ranking member of the house, maybe for example you in the house, you are a majority leader or something,
big
your
fish.
space of influence is not limited to a state. You can run across
all the states,
and then you are just one leg into the presidency. You can go in and out of the presidency depending on how strong you are. In the House of Reps too, if you become the deputy speaker, that's not a big fish. Look, a Benjamin Kalu today he's thinking about becoming a governor because of
his position
as deputy speaker, his influence. You know, so it all depends on the way you see it. Because if you talk about influence, I don't know whether you're talking about political power or the other one, so it all depends on the way you see it. But again, a lot of these guys are seeing beyond even the position. They want to be in the corridors of power. And look, when you see National Assembly members in Abuja, senator past senator,
that ones they call ranking senators.
So even apart from ranking, there are some that look, they have buttons to touch. There are things they can do that others cannot do.
You dare not.
So the man who is leaving speakership to go to Abuja, he might have his calculation,
and he's even going to bring him closer to the president.
And what he's eyeing, we might not even know. There might be a calculation to it. So don't let us just look at it. I know. Look, if he's going to the House of Reps, there might be a calculation to it too. Because again, things are going to change. Yes. If we're already hearing that there will be zoning the Senate presidency
to the southeast,
We don't know what
the
will happen.
Southwest would also push up on that hierarchy.
For
because
example,
we have only the president.
If the Southeast gets the Senate president, the deputy speakership cannot go to the Southeast again.
No.
We don't know what will happen to the North Central. If Shettima retains his position,
As VP.
they've sorted the Northeast. So the guys who are leaving the state to go to Abuja have their own calculations too. We'll leave it at that. Now on registration, this INEC deadline is for the sake of party primaries. Because if parties decide that there's no consensus, they want to do direct primaries, registered members are the one that can vote. And INEC would have to work with a register, because INEC would have to go there to observe the party primaries. And observation means they would have to look at,
Well, we have a name.
register ahead. So
where is side forward? We have
so they need the registrar to be able to observe the party primaries. Look, if today I decide to go and register for a political party, I don't think I'll be able to participate in the primaries. But that does not stop me from being a registered member
Of that party.
And I think that is
very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear. Okay, I'm ᴏᴜᴛ Solomon from Idimu. With these political permutations and calculation, particularly the one that regards the issue of principal positions in the National Assembly, my heart is just weeping. You can see how these politicians can think far ahead of the people. Once it has to do with them grabbing position, but not to serve, but for personal interest, and would never think right on how to better the country. With all that we've been seeing in Akpabio's hand as SP, imagine Hope Uzodinma becoming the Senate president for Tinubu. If at all it remains beyond 2027, every other thing have been dropped for political discussions and manipulation amidst the myriad of national problems. With this set of people, Nigeria is going nowhere. ᴏᴜᴛ Solomon, thank you very much. Let me run through some of the messages so that we can pick enough calls. Good afternoon to you guys, the duo and the doyen of Mainland FM Radio. It's quite a pity that today's episode is one of the best political presentations that could have pained me if I'd missed it. My first response is the slogan from Saheed Fuad, Báwo ni ti Ìbàdàn. That's the slogan that caused late Pabola Ige the seat in the Oyo State to late Olunloyo in the 1993 Guba election. My second take is the typical issue of Yaya Bello and okay, you mean the former governor? Okay. Yaya Bello seeking to go to the Senate with corruption allegations around them. Remember that there was a similar example of a particular senator from the Southeast who was convicted and was sent to serve almost 6 months until he was set free for appeal and still benefiting as a sitting governor today. That's Senator Orji Uzor. He was convicted, but the court ordered a retrial. That the court that sentenced him lacks the jurisdiction. Side far, there's no retrial today. He's still in the Senate.
And I don't think the APC has any rules that if you have any litigation,
you cannot contest.
So that's why Yaya Bello, for example, was screened and cleared.
Allegations of corruption is not a liberty to prevent anyone from contesting. Kunduz for you guys. Kayode from Ikotun, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, Okpe, and super side forward. I really enjoyed the political analysis, nice and great permutations and calculations. But where I would still have issues is when the APC lead comes out, and I'm very pessimistic that some of the aggrieved APC will work for the opposition parties from the back. That is Chris Oke from Ikeja.
It's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
They will remain in the party but work for.
Stephen Akinbisola is texting from Ijegun. Good afternoon, Okpe, and my very best regards to side forward. In a country where after completing 2 terms as governor with all the benefits they enjoy in their office, they rush to the National Assembly as a resting place is, to say the least, the country calls for a national concern. It is now evidently clear that the wealth and the dividends of democracy belongs to the politicians and their cronies alone. Where is the hope of the masses? Is it a cost to be a Nigerian? Indeed, Nigeria is blessed. Stephen Akinbisola from Ijegun, thank you very much. Times are really difficult, and the ruling party hasn't done much to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. Rent, foodstuffs, school fees, and medical costs have all hit the roof. I hope the NDC has a good manifesto to alleviate the suffering of the people. Good afternoon, guys. Great analysis, side father and Okpe. This is Louis. Good afternoon to the crew. Okpe, I want you to have it at the back of your mind that everyone plying political threat with the APC has automatically cleared of any corrupt practices. Take it or leave it, that Nigeria under the APC government, youth in Nigeria today has learned from those ruling us that decency is useless, but stealing any resource at your disposal becomes the wise things to do, because that is the example those are the leaders, those we have as leaders are offering. Very unfortunate. That's James from Agbado. Okay. Let's pick some calls. Okay, quick one. Good afternoon to you, Ope and Fuad. Concerning the primaries, if APC is not careful, they will go into this election with a lot of members not happy and disenchanted. Samsonites from Lagos.
Disgruntled members who will be in the party
and be working against the party.
This is very, very
all right. This is Festus from Ikorodu. Good afternoon to you. This is one of the best editions I've enjoyed on the show. Side Fuad is deep with his analysis, and Ope is a backup striker with those adjustments. Okay, with those adjustments. But the truth with Lagos politics is this: Obasa is not just influential in Agege alone; he's influential in Lagos. Did you guys forget that a new speaker was sworn in, and days later the speaker was removed, and they were made to apologize for impeaching the person they voted into office? That is Obasa for you, Agege. Wow. I wish you guys the very best. Thank you, Milan FM. Thank you very much. Also,
this one Agege person.
This one Agege person, of course. But once you hear Agege, you will know. Good afternoon, Oga Okpe and Fuad. Oga Fuad, which slogan Mr. President won't use for 2027 campaign? Hope to renewed hope. Maybe it's going to be hopefully. This is Ryan from Agege. 0913-600-0410. Let's pick your calls. You can also reach us on WhatsApp on 0913-600-0410. Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good afternoon. Okay. I can hear you.
Good afternoon to your name and where you calling from?
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Joshua.
You're welcome.
See, my pain is in this consensus. See, the party cannot continue like this. Of course, it benefits
which party?
their own
Which party? Which party? Joshua.
The best among all of them right now.
Which party? Which party?
APC Abi.
Yeah, I said APC.
Cannot
I said
like
APC. Yes, because one, you are just imposing people on others. When or how are you expecting your youth or even expecting some people in the party who would like to contest for an election or a position in the party to grow or to become more popular in the party, when everything you do is consensus? Don't you know, in the course of contesting the primaries and all that, so many of all your party members become more popular too. I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but then we just have to, because one, you see the way they are threatening people about expelling people from the party and all that. It's unfair. Allow people to participate, and from there they gain experience. Again, experience to further challenge other people. How many of our party members now can even stand maybe some ADC or even this other party in a debate? We're talking about in a debate.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We'll take your messages also on Facebook at facebook.com/Milan98.3 FM. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ope.
You're welcome. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, this is Don calling from Ojota. Oga Fuad, I greet you.
Good afternoon, sir.
I love you very well. I love Ope. All the names for this show will be heard when I also collect the mail that year.
All May we end.
Not only in politics, also. Yes. So my own is that let the Joshua come and work at this APC.
Good. Now APC guy.
No, it's good already. There is a chance for him to work as an opposition.
That's my thing. APC, Abi.
Yeah, let me work against APC because they are making best.
Thank you very much, Mr. John, for joining us on the show today. We'll also read your messages on Facebook in between. This one says, good afternoon to you guys. It is becoming very true and glaring that Oshomole said, join APC and your sins will be forgiven. Almost all the politicians that have corruption cases are now in the APC and their sins are disappearing magically. As for the APC consensus, I think President Tinubu wants to replicate what he did in Lagos State nationwide. But thanks to Peter Obi that is keeping their ego and rascality in check, despite his all but 30 plus governors and the National Assembly in his pocket. That is coming from Chief Udo. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, Mainland FM. I don't understand this APC. Nothing is democratic about them. Even councillor ticket isn't open for members. It is always selection. Sorry, consensus. And that was how you wrote it. Thank you very much. That's Adewale from Agege. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, I assume this person is not ready to talk to us. 0913600410. We have messages on Facebook. Atondakawade says, kudos to you guys. As to the statement from Side Forward. Okay, I read this message already. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Please, can you help us put down the volume on your radio set?
For every office, I must go immediately.
Okay, please rise.
I agree to see just where the pillar in the house.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. My name still means this why calling you for most of the city edition of universe. Number one, with just an example, they are him now, and the way we talk of this consensus candidate, it happened many years ago, and that is how it always happened in the southwestern Nigeria. Even when you see 1979, before Bola can take over, they drag because it is Papa Ayewale that wants to be governor there. Many people fight for Bola before a match. So today, as it is now, I like this is the primary to be everybody should go there to vote. But when the leaders sat down and they take a decision, what can they do? What can they do? And when you say, okay, I don't agree, let us go to the field. They are carrying a match because they know what they are doing. And when you talk of this primary, it was based on corruption. The higher bidder will become the winner. And that's another problem for them. I don't bloody care who emerges as a governor, as a rep. Just when you are there, do the will of Nigeria. Some corruption. As I'm talking to you now, the majority of the politicians today, they are so corrupt. Not all of them, but majority of them. But we, the voter, are we not as stay corrupt? Nigeria is so. If you stop corruption, everything get better. Good afternoon. More blessings for 12 years.
Thank you very much, Prince. I will say more blessing to you as well. You're live from Miller 98.3 FM. It's the Wednesday edition of Midweek Politics. And don't forget to always join us. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Obi calling from Ikeja.
Obi, please, can you be audible a bit?
Obi calling. It's not working. I'm not SPN now.
It's better.
I agree
to.
You see, I want to talk about Fubara. Fubara, I don't think he's supposed to be. He should have been a teacher. Let him go back to the class.
I'll be a farmer.
And be a farmer. Because you cannot have this kind of money for leader set and
they toss you around like that.
So does he not know that they are not going to what do you call it? What do you call it? Yes. Because if I was Fubara, I would have been on that party. And all the militants, I will give them tickets to that other party. I'm telling you, the whole militants, House of Assembly, Senate, I will involve them. Let the Rafa start. This man is not supposed to be a politician. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you very much. 0913600410. I mean, when the initial local government election was conducted in Rivers State, we saw Action People's Party winning almost 90% of the seats under Fubara before the state of emergency was declared.
But I think to be fair, Fubara is not dealing with Wike alone. He's also dealing with the presidency.
Exactly.
In fact, he's also dealing with the president.
Exactly.
So
it's
a tough fight to win.
It looks like he's never been welcomed in the APC. He felt like an outcast in the family.
You can't have the minister fully emboldened and supported by the president.
And you think the president will still tilt in your favor?
Look, like by psychology said in one of our shows, the only reason why Wike is governor today is because the president at that time was Buhari. No. His minister today, why he was able to do 8 years as governor was because at that time the president was Buhari.
If it was this,
he would not survive it. Who born out?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yemi calling from Egweda.
You're welcome, Mr. Yemi. Please put down the volume on your radio set, please.
Yeah, my radio set is tuned off.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, let me quickly talk about this imposition of candidates for election.
Okay.
Yeah. The way things are in the present Nigeria, I think those who supported it in the past are now reaping the effect now. So sad. We should allow internal democracy to grow. That's how we can have a better national democracy. If one man is sitting at the Mzoɪᴜ and is dictating for all the party members, go and support this candidate. You know, it's going to destroy a lot of things. People will not have that interest again. It will not become a case of let me form alliance with the babas in the party, the others in the party, so that they can consider me. Look at how Amjad was moving around Nigeria, going to meet the party
leaders,
the core party loyalists for endorsement, and boom, this guy withdrew his interest, Jando. That's not how we should be practicing our democracy. We should let people come out and contest, slug it out, so that we can know who is ready to lead. Now, if Amjad gets that ticket on a platform of good, what are we expecting from him? Will he perform? Well, I don't know. Anyway.
Thank you.
That's my take.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your conversation on the show today. 09136000410. So that we don't leave the people from the Facebook constituency to one side. Okay, let's pick this call. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
Hello, I greet you. It's Koboko. I greet you and Alhaji.
We greet you.
May God bless you for listening. It will be a very, very embarrassing and unacceptable and a shame if Okowa that they use Rottweilers enter EFCC and Bello that evaded EFCC arrest on the 17th of April 2024. Now they say they want to contest for Senate. It will be very embarrassing. It will be a shame. And I remember when Trump talked October last year. So Nigeria is already a disgraced country. If Okowa and Bello go on. Okay, sorry. And the first for you.
No vex, I beg.
Drink water, I beg.
No vex. I mean, I understand the whole conversation around the fact that the APC does not have guidelines that says if you are under investigation, but that's what they call screening. You need to be found worthy of being the candidate of the party. So if someone that is under investigation, someone that his files is at different courts, and the person say, what does this say about the integrity of your party? How would people say that, oh, you have a suspect, someone that has been alleged to have stolen the commonwealth of people is now the candidate of your party? How sellable do you think the candidate will be on your party? Is that not enough material for the opposition to campaign against your party?
Are there anything to morality in the screening exercise? So if there's nothing around morals, around like, oh well, as far as our party is concerned, once you have these allegations against you, please, until you sort it out, you can't pick our form. That solves the problem. But if the party does not see anything wrong in people being alleged and being tried, you're going to have this kind of situation,
which is quite unfortunate. It's basically a reflection of the kind of politics that we play in this part of the world. 09136000410. Good to have you join us. Your name and where you calling from?
Good afternoon.
You're welcome.
My name is Robert. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oga Fuad, I want to say something. I want Fubara to sing that national anthem again. That on your mandate.
Maybe his voice will be clearer this time around.
Let him the vehemence he used in singing that national anthem that time. I want Nigeria want to listen to that tune again.
You're not going to sing if not true. Say,
Oga, let me tell you something. The way I live my life, if I want to stand for truth, let me die with that truth. Instead of me to be Oshaka Shoko, what's the meaning of that for God's sake? When this fight started, all Nigerians were
supporting him.
Back. Yes, only for you to go and say you want to join APC and you were holding microphone. Let that man come and say Fubara now. I will not be surprised if I saw his name will appear. Wike told him that we will soon start politics in River. He promised him that. Don't worry, the real politics will soon start. No, he told that guy.
He told him during the tour of the states.
Yes, he said, don't worry. And the president is at the back of a Wike now. We should not deceive ourselves. Because that is what he himself is practicing in Lagos. What are we talking about? We do not, Fubara do not, politics at all. It's a baby. Is it not better to have a lion at the back of a sheep than to have a sheep at the back of lion? Fubara should go and sit down. You go and let another, you go to classroom and go and teach. I'm annoyed, Gary.
Don't be annoyed. Side forward, we have to go. It's been an amazing time on the show today. But don't forget that we have a big guest on the show by 3 p.m. I Springs the Money. I'm sure you remember that song. I think one of the biggest songs we've had in this country. Oleku, tell me something where I know if you do. Of course, he's a proud Just boy. He's going to be our guest on the show today on The Boss on Miller 98.3 FM. By 4 p.m., Sage Babalola would also extend this conversation in the Situation Room. And by 5:30, there is a Mainland FM Global News. By 6 o'clock, I would also come back with my co-host Agbatomi to take you through the world of sport on Sport Cruise. By 7 p.m., there's Global Cluster, and by 8 p.m., okay, all my shenanigans. I don't miss that conversation on the show today. So, well, thank you so much, Said Far, for coming through.
On Fubara matter, just 1 minute. There are people who say, if you must dine with the devil, you go with a long spoon.
It's not even that long spoon is not valid anymore now. Don't even sit with the devil.
But you know what my grandfather told me? Don't ever be in a situation where you have to dine with the devil. God bless Nigeria.
And God bless you too, Side for. Thank you very much for coming through as usual. Then we have to leave right now. This program returns again next week, Wednesday, at the same time, 1 p.m. on the same station, your Miller 98.3 FM. Thank you very much once again. Apologies for all of the calls we couldn't pick, all of the messages we could not read. We have to go, but keep your dial locked on Miller 98.3 FM because we have the sound of Lagos.